Good day, everyone. I'm Miss Roxanne B. Arevalo, a licensed professional teacher in mathematics and your review master in trigonometry for the paghahanda sa kinabukasan 2 Pre-College Entrance Examination Review Program ng Taytay. So I will be your lecturer for all the important topics in trigonometry. Kaya naman for this session, ilagay na ang sarili sa isang komportableng lugar kung saan makakapag-aral kayo ng maigi dahil magsisimula na po tayo. So, ang magiging topic natin for this part of our review will be the angles, arc length, trigonometric ratio, angle of elevation and depression, law of sine and cosine, coterminal angles, and reference angles. So, ito yung magiging part 1 ng ating review sa trigo. Meron pa po tayong second part, which is magiging more on focus niya is on the unit circle and the trigonometric identities. Then, tatap din natin dun yung polar coordinates. But for now, ito yung magiging topics natin para sa first part ng trigonometry. Okay, kaya ngayon, simulan na natin. Trigonometry comes from the Greek word trigonon, which means triangle, and metron, which means measuring. So it is measuring triangles. It is also the study between the relationship of angles and sides. Kaya naman sisimulan natin yung discussion sa angles. What are angles? Angles are formed by two rays or lines with a common vertex. And it can be measured using degrees and radians. What are degrees? Degrees measure angles by dividing a full circle into 360 equal parts. Kaya naman, yung full angle natin measures 360 degrees. Pag radian naman, it is an angle measurement where 1 radian is the central angle in a circle that subtends an arc exactly the length of the circle's radius. So which it means na pinapakita ng radian yung relationship between the arc length and the radius. Pero hindi siya basta-bastang arc length. The arc length should be subtended by the central angle. Ano ba yung central angle? When we say central angle, it is an angle within the circle where its vertex is on the center of the circle. And the radian shows the ratio of the arc length and the radius. So arc length over radius. We actually can compute for the arc length of the central angle by multiplying the measurement of the central angle in radian and the radius. And when the arc length is equal to the radius, ang ibig sabihin nun, pag nilapat natin sa formula ng radian, arc length over radius, the arc length will become, or the measurement of the arc length is the same as the radius, kaya naman radius over radius will be equal to 1 rad. Okay? Kaya ang magiging measurement ng ating central angle is 1 radian when it happens na yung arc length natin is equal sa radius. Question. If the full rotation or the total angular measure of a complete circle is 360 degrees, what is its equivalent in radian? Meaning to say, kung yung full angle natin is 360 degree, ano yung 360 degree in radian? So, gagamitin natin yung concept ng circumference ng circle. We can compute for the circumference of the circle by multiplying 2 pi and r. So, 2 pi r ang formula ng circumference. Balik tayo ngayon sa radian. Radian is equal to arc length over radius. And since ang gusto nating malaman, yung full rotation or kompletong circle, which is 360 degrees, ang magiging arc length natin is 2 pi r. Kasi ang circumference na yan yung measurement ng buong circle. So, yan yung kabuoang arc length natin, 2 pi r. So, 2 pi r over radius. So, yung radius na yan, di ba nire-represent natin by r. Kaya, iisa lang yung 2 pi r, yung r sa 2 pi r, which means radius, and yung radius natin dito sa radian. Kaya naman, we can actually divide it, at ang matitira na lang is 2 pi. Okay? Which means na yung full rotation natin, or full circle natin na 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radian. So, 2 pi radian is equals to 360 degrees. Ngayon, ano ba yung 1 radian uh, compared sa 360 degrees? Okay? So, ang gawin natin para malaman kung ano yung 1 radian in degrees, divide natin both sides. Okay, sige. Sulat ko muna. 2 pi radian and 360 degrees. So, para malaman natin kung ano yung 1 radian in degrees, divide both sides natin by 2 pi. Pasintabi sa sulat ko ah. Okay. So, makaka-cancel natin or madidivide natin yung 2 pi. And then, masisimplify natin yung 360 degrees over 2 pi into 360 divided by 2, that is 180 over pi. Kaya naman, yung 1 radian, equivalent niya is 180 degrees over pi. Kapag naman, kinonvert natin yung 1 degree into radian, ang i-divide naman natin both sides dito ay 360. And magka-come up tayo sa pi over 180 degree radian. Okay? So, ngayon, dito magmumula yung magiging formula natin in finding the conversion or converting radians into degrees and degrees into radian. So, papakita ko na sa inyo. From degrees to radian, ang gagawin natin is to multiply the number of degrees by pi over 180 degree. Ayan yung formula na gagamitin natin to convert degrees to radian. Pag radians to degrees naman, yung radian, imumultiply natin sa 180 over pi. Okay. Ako personally, hindi ko siya kinakabisa. Ang ginagawa ko na lang is, tinatandaan ko kung anong unit of measure yung kailangang makancel para ma-convert yung yung given the uh, into the target na conversion natin. Okay? Ang goal natin is na ma-cancel yung kailangan nating i-convert. Kaya naman, namimili lang kung imumultiply siya sa pi over 180 or sa 180 over pi. Okay, sige, bigay tayo ng example. Convert 225 degrees to radians, and we have A 9 pi over 4, B 3 pi over 4, C 7 pi over 6, and D 5 pi over 4. So if you want to answer on your own, kaya namang gamitin yung formula. You can pause this video and then play ninyo kung tapos na kayong magsagot at gusto nyo nang malaman yung kung tama kayo. Ngayon, sagutan na natin. So, 225 degrees, i-convert natin into radian. Kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, ang goal natin, mawala yung degrees. So, basically, yung technique ko na ginagawa, nisip ko, paano makakancel yung degrees kasi i-convert nga natin siya sa radian. And mangyayari yon kung i-divide natin siya sa degrees din. Kaya, ang imumultiply ko sa kanya ay pi over 180 degrees. Ayan. So, mangyayari, pag multiply natin, it is 225 pi over 180. Ngayon, wala siya sa choices natin. So, we need to simplify this given. So, 225 pi over 180, common factor nila is 40, try natin 45. Ayan. So, 225 divided by 45, kaya ba? So, 225, 45 times, try natin. 45 times 5. Ayan. Ayan, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 4, 20, 22. So, 225. And we can actually divide for 80 by 45, that is 4. So, ngayon, pag nilowest term natin, that is 5 pi over 4. Okay, so the answer will be letter D. Yan, very good sa mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Another example, what is 540 degrees in radian? Okay, if you want to answer, pause this now, play nyo na lang pag alam nyo na yung sagot or may sagot na kayo. Okay, so to convert 540 degrees in radian, imumultiply natin siya ulit sa pi over 180. Again, kailangan ng goal makancel si degree para maging radian na siya. So, magiging 540 pi over 180. And parehas sila or may common factor sila, si 540 and 180 by 180. Okay. 'Di ba? 180 times, try natin 3. Okay, 0, 3 times 8, 24, carry 2. So, 540 nga. So, meaning, 540 pi over 180, that is 3 pi. Okay, so the final answer is letter C. Okay, very good. Next tayo. Number 3. Convert 5 pi over 3 radians to degrees. A, 240, B, 270, C, 300, and D, 330. So, if you want to answer, pause this now. Play nyo na lang kapag alam nyo na yung sagot. Now, paano natin naman mako-convert yung given na radians into degree? So, ang i-multiply natin ngayon kay 5 pi over 3 is 180 over pi. Okay, kasi ang goal dyan, ma-cancel si pi. Okay, and we can actually do that now. Kasi may pi sa numerator, may pi din sa denominator pag nagmumultiply. And then, ito din, factorable din to, or may common factor sila, which is 3. Kaya magiging 1 to. Itong 180 magiging 60. Okay. So, mas madali na natin mamultiply. 5 times 60, that is 300. So, the answer is letter C. Okay. Very good sa mga nakakuha ng correct answers. Now, let's proceed on number 4. Number 4. Convert 7 pi over 6 radians to degrees. Letter A, 150 degrees. Letter B, 210 degrees. Letter C, 225 degrees. And letter D, 240 degrees. So, if you want to answer, pause it now. And if you want to check your answer, continue playing the video. So, to convert 7 pi over 6 into radian, we're going to multiply it by 180 over pi again. And dito pa lang, simplify na natin para mas madali. 6 and 180 is factor, can be divided. So, magiging 1 si 6, si 180 ay 30. Cancel natin yung pi or divide natin yung pi. 7 times 30, that is 210. So, the answer is 210 degrees. Letter B. Very good sa mga nakakuha ng correct answer. Now, let's proceed to the next topic. Our next topic is about the arc length, which is na pahapyawan ko na siya kanina. So, the arc length is a portion of the circle's circumference. More accurately, an arc is formed by a part of a circle circumference starting from a point in a circle to another point. Okay. Given the angle in degrees, defining the arc, we can measure the arc's length using the formula, which is, pag sinabi kasing arc length, guys, ito yung part ng circle. Pinapakita nito yung measurement ng part ng circle. So, it is literally an arc. And we can actually compute that given the central angle o that subtends the arc length. Okay? So, kapag given natin naka-degree, ang ating formula for the arc length is pi r theta over 180. Wherein yung theta na yan, nire-represent niya yung measurement nung angle in degrees. Okay. Kaya kanina yung pinakita ko sa inyo, naka-radian kasi yon, kaya medyo madali. Which is eto na nga. Eto naman ang formula natin kapag ang angle measure is naka-radian. Okay? Our arc length will just be radius times the um, theta, which is in radian. Okay. So again, yung unang formula natin is that's used for uh, given yung angle in degree. Yung pangalawang formula naman, given yung angle in radian. Okay. So, gamitin natin ngayon sa pagsasagot ng word problems yung mga formula na nandyan. Number 5. If a slice of a 12-inch diameter pizza has a central angle of 60 degree, what is the length of the crust along the outer edge? A. 2 pi inches, B. 4 pi inches, C. 6 pi inches, and D. 12 pi inches. Paki-pause na po yung video kung gustong magsagot. And sagutan na natin. So, dito, sa problem, hinahanap yung length of the crust along the outer edge given na yung diameter ng pizza ay may central angle na 60 degrees. So, naka-degree po ang ating given na angle. Kaya naman, sa paghahanap nung length ng crust, which is the arc length, ang gagamitin nating formula is arc length is equal to pi r theta over 180. Okay. So, kunin muna natin yung mga given. Ano ba yung radius? Walang binigay exactly na radius but the diameter is given which is 12 inches. At kung ang diameter natin ay 12 inches, we just need to divide it by 2 para makuha yung radius which is 6. So, 12 divided by 2 is 6. Ngayon, ang susunod nating hahanapin, ano ba yung measurement ng ating central angle. Our central angle based sa problem is 60 degrees. Okay. Kaya naman, magagamit na natin ngayon yung ating formula. Arc length is equal to pi times the radius which is 6 times the measurement of the central angle which is 60 degrees over 180 degrees. Okay, I forgot the degrees. So, ngayon, when we multiply it, actually, pwede nga nating mag-simplify muna bago tayo mag-multiply. Kasi 60 degrees and 180 degrees, we can divide that. This is 1 and this is 3. So, matitira, 6 pi over 3. And masisimplify pa natin yan as 6 divided by 3, 2 pi. So, the answer will be letter A, 2 pi inches. Nakuha nyo ba ng tama? Okay, very good. Punta na tayo sa number 6. Number 6. Find the radius of a circle where a central angle of 3 pi over 4 radians intercepts an arc length of 15 pi centimeter. Letter A, 11.25 centimeter. Letter B, 20 centimeter. Letter C, 45 centimeter. And letter D, 60 centimeter. Okay, pause the video now if you are going to answer. Now, to solve for this problem, it's obvious na yung central angle na measurement given is naka-radian. Kaya magagamit natin yung formula ng arc length is equal to radius times theta, wherein the theta is the measurement of the central angle in radian. Ngayon, arc length is equals to radius times theta. Pero, hindi po arc length yung hinahanap sa number 6. That is the radius. Kaya naman, gagawa tayo ng paraan na makagawa tayo ng formula kung saan radius yung hinahanap. Okay? Or radius yung makukompute natin. So, kagaya nung strategy na tinuro ko sa inyo sa business math dati, i-isolate po natin sa isang side na equation si radius. Kaya naman, we're going to divide both sides by theta. Kaya, and then, yung theta na kasama ni radius, madi-divide natin or makakancel. So, it will become arc length over theta is equal to the radius. Then, arrange na lang natin na magmumukha siyang formula. So, radius is equals to the arc length over theta. Ngayon, ano ba yung given na arc length? Our arc length is equal to 15 pi centimeter based on the given, and then our theta is 3 pi over 4. Then when we substitute it to our formula, the radius is equal to 15 pi over 3 pi over 4. Ngayon, meron tayong fraction sa denominator or fraction sa divisor. And pag naka-encounter kayo ng ganyan, so sa algebra, so ang mangyayari dyan, 15 pi na dividend, hindi natin babaguhin. Pero yung divisor natin na naka-fraction, i-reciprocal natin siya. So, magiging 4 over 3 pi. And instead na division, magiging multiplication na po ang ating operation. Then, i-multiply nyo na lang ng normal yung ating dalawang values. So, 15 pi over 4, 15 pi times 4 over 3 pi is 60 pi over 3 pi. And we can actually divide this. So, okay, 60 pi. So, 60 divided by 3, that is 20. Ang ating final answer is 20 centimeter. And that is letter B. Okay. Very good sa mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Next, proceed na tayo sa number 7. Number 7. A circle has a radius of 10 units. If an arc on this circle has a length of 25 units, what is the measure of the central angle in radians? Letter A, 0.4 radians. Letter B, 2.5 radians. Letter C, 2.5 pi radians. And letter D, 250 radians. So, dito, ang hinahanap po is the measure of the central angle. Kaya naman, sagutan nyo na and i-play nyo na lang kung may sagot na kayo. So, for number 7, gamitin pa rin natin yung formula ng arc length and i-derive natin yung formula ng measurement ng central angle using the formula of the arc length. So, arc length is equal to radius times theta, which is the angle, the measurement of the central angle in radian. Dahil naka-radian naman yung ating mga choices. So, again, isolate natin si theta, kaya i-divide both sides natin by the radius. So, maka-cancel natin, and the formula for theta is arc length over radius. Ano ba yung arc length? So, based on the given, ang arc length natin ay 25 units. So, 25. And our radius is 10. So, our angle or theta is equal to 25 over 10. And basic mathematics, 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. So, since naka-radian po ang ating unit of measure dito, the answer is 2.5 radians. Letter B. Okay, so tapos na po tayo sa arc length. Ngayon, let's proceed to another topic under the trigonometry. So, proceed tayo sa trigonometric ratios. Ano ba yung trigonometric ratios na yan? So, trigonometric ratios are the ratios of the sides of a right triangle. So, I think familiar na kayo dito. So, sa we have 6 trigonometric ratios. And that is the sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta, cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta. So, lahat yan nagpapakita ng ratio ng sides ng right triangle. So, sine theta can be computed by dividing the opposite and hypotenuse. Paano ba natin masasabi na opposite side siya? Or hypotenuse siya? Or even adjacent side siya? So, meron tayong original na angle dito. Okay, sa trigonometric ratios, meron tayong angle, which is represented by theta. So, pag sa right triangle, for example, ang angle natin nandito, ito siya. Para malaman natin kung opposite side ba siya, ito yung focus natin, yung angle na to. Kung ano yung katapat na side nung angle natin, yung theta natin, yun yung opposite. Okay. So, ang katapat niya na side is this side. Kaya naman, ito yung tinatawag nating opposite side ng angle. Okay? Pag sinabi namang adjacent, literally adjacent, katabi. Katabing side nung ating angle. At si hypotenuse po hindi nagbabago. Si hypotenuse, that is the longest side of the right triangle. So, kanina pa ako right triangle ng right triangle. Alam naman natin yung right triangle, diba? It is a triangle which have an angle of 90-degree measure. So, again, we have hypotenuse as its longest side, and then opposite side naman, yun yung kapantay nung angle natin, or katapat nung angle natin, and yung adjacent side naman yung katabi. Okay. So, sine theta is equal to opposite side, measurement ng opposite side, divided by the hypotenuse. Cosine theta naman, adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Itong adjacent side, tapos itong hypotenuse na to. Tangent theta will be opposite side divided by adjacent. Okay. Next, we have cosecant theta will be the hypotenuse over the opposite. Okay. Secant theta will be the hypotenuse divided by adjacent. And cotangent theta is equal to adjacent over opposite. So, as you can see, reciprocal po ni sine si cosecant. Si cosine naman si secant, and si tangent, reciprocal ni cotangent. Okay, yun yung isa sa identities or relationship ng anim na trigonometric ratios na yan. So, para mas madaling tandaan, alam ko may mnemonic kayo, which is yung tinatawag natin na SOHCAHTOA and CHO-SHAHAKAW. Okay, kung familiar kayo dyan sa SOHCAHTOA na yan, alam ko naman. Ayan, S stands for sine, O stands for opposite, and H stands for hypotenuse. Si C naman stands for cosine, T stands for tangent. Okay, sa CHO-SHAHAKAW naman, magbabago dyan. Sa CHO, C stands for cosecant, hypotenuse is still H, opposite is still O, adjacent side is still A. Pero si S, secant na po, at si C, cotangent na. Okay. So, mnemonic yan para makabisa yung trigonometric ratios. And alam ko familiar naman talaga kayo dyan. So, let's have this example. I have here a right triangle, ABC, which has sides that measures 5, 12, and 13. So, basically, si 13, si hypotenuse, the longest side, and 5 and 12 will be the sides of the other sides of the right triangle. So, hanapin natin ano ba yung value ni sine A, cosine A, tangent A, and so on. So, si sine A will be, kailangan nyo munang hanapin ano ba yung angle A. Okay? And based dito sa ating figure, ang angle A natin, ito siya. Okay? So, this is the angle A. Tapos, to find sine A, hanapin natin kung ano ba yung measurement ng opposite side ng angle A at hypotenuse nung ating right triangle. So, again, pag sinabi natin opposite side, yun yung kapantay. So, ito po, or katapat na side ng ating angle. So, ang katapat na side ng angle natin is this side BC, at ang measurement niya ay 5. And then, it follows na ang ating opposite side is 5. O, sige, lagay ko. Opposite, O stands for opposite side, which is 5. And our hypotenuse, that is the H. Okay, so sa SOHCAHTOA, sine A will be opposite over hypotenuse. So, 5 over 13 ang sine A natin. Ayan. Pag cosine A naman, that is ka. So, ka means adjacent over hypotenuse, yung cosine. So, hanapin natin, ano ba yung adjacent side? So, ang adjacent side natin, yung katabi na side ng ating angle. And yung katabing side ng ating angle will be 12. Kaya naman, this is now our adjacent side. Okay. So, cosine A will be 12 over 13. Okay. 12 adjacent, hypotenuse is 13. So, 12 over 13. Tangent A will be opposite over adjacent. Kaya naman, that is 5 over 12. Ayan. Cosecant A, Choshakaw. So, hypotenuse over opposite. Kaya naman, that is 13 over 5. And as you can see, reciprocal siya ni sine. Okay, 5 over 13 si sine, cosecant is 13 over 5. Secant will be hypotenuse over adjacent, so 13 over 12. And cotangent A will be um, adjacent over opposite. And that is 12 over 5. Reciprocal ni tangent. For the sine B, pwede nyong sagutan on your own. I-pause na lang yung video. And papakita ko na lang sa inyo ngayon yung mga sagot for sine B, cosine B, tangent B, cosecant B, secant B, and cotangent B. Okay. So, check nyo na lang kung tama yung mga sagot ninyo. Okay. Now, after ng trigonometric ratio, i-review naman natin ngayon yung Pythagorean theorem. I know, naririnig nyo na yan. But still, magagamit natin si Pythagorean theorem sa mga susunod nating mga activities or questions na may encounter dito. So, Pythagorean theorem is a fundamental rule in geometry stating that in any right triangle, the square of the longest side or the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the two shorter sides. So, basically, guys, ito yung lagi nyong naririnig na a squared is equals to b squared plus, a squared plus b squared is equals to c squared. Provided that alam nyo kung ano ibig sabihin ng a, b, and c na yon. So, si a and si b, they are the sides of the right triangle, and si c is the hypotenuse. So, the sum of the square of the two sides is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. Kaya siya tapos nire-represent ni A and B yung dalawang side ni right triangle at si C naman si hypotenuse. So, eto naman yung ginamit ko para in relation dun sa ating triangle kanina. So, adjacent squared plus opposite squared, which is the two sides, is equals to the hypotenuse squared. So, using this Pythagorean theorem, we can actually compute for the measurement of the sides of the right triangle. Okay? So, for example, nawawala si adjacent side. Kailangan nating hanapin. So, we can create a formula to solve for the adjacent side of the right triangle. Mangyayari dyan, adjacent squared is equals to the hypotenuse squared minus the opposite squared. Okay, so derivation ng formulas. And the final formula will be adjacent side is equal to the square root of the hypotenuse squared minus opposite squared. Okay. And iba't iba pang variation dyan. Pwede pa dyan sa opposite side, which is square root of hypotenuse squared minus adjacent squared. Okay. Pwede din sa hypotenuse. O, di pag hypotenuse ang hinahanap, hypotenuse is equals to the square root of adjacent squared plus opposite squared. Okay. So, sige. Gamitin natin yung trigonometric ratios and yung Pythagorean theorem sa pagsasagot ng mga susunod na questions. Okay, number 8. In the right triangle ABC, what is the value of tangent theta? A 4 over 5, B 3 over 4, C 4 over 3, and D 5 over 4. So, pause nyo na yung video kung gusto nyo magsagot and then play it kung gusto nang malaman yung tamang sagot. So, let's solve for the value of the tangent theta given the right triangle dito sa ating question. So, kailangan natin i-focus muna nasaan ba yung angle natin. So, our angle is here at ang katapat na side ng ating angle is side BC. At ang measurement niyan ay 8. So, yan yung ating opposite side. Tapos, ang adjacent side naman niya is yung side AC and ang measurement niya ay 6. Then, the hypotenuse, the longest side, side AB, ang measurement niya is 10. Okay. So, ngayon, ang hinahanap is tangent theta. So, pag sinabi nating tangent theta or pag tangent theta ang hinahanap, we need to find the opposite and the adjacent side. So, based dun sa nabanggit ko kanina, the opposite side is measured 8 and the adjacent side measured 6. Kaya naman, 8 over 6 ang value ng tangent theta natin. Lowest term, that is 4 over 3. And the answer will be letter C, 4/3. Okay, very good sa mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Next, proceed tayo sa number 9. 9. Which of the following expression is correct? 1. Cosine A is equals to cosine D. 2. Cosine A is equals to sine B. 3. Cosine D is equals to sine E. A1 only, B1 and 2 only, C1 and 3 only, D2 and 3 only. So, pause the video now kung magsasagot na kayo. For number 9, kailangan muna nating malaman ano ba yung value ng cosine A, cosine D, cosine B, and sine E para malaman natin sino ba sa tatlong yan yung tamang expressions. May given tayo ditong triangles and we can know na right triangle sila by the measurement of the sides. So, pag ginamit natin Pythagorean theorem, tatama yung measurement ng sides natin. Okay? So now, hanapin natin ano ba yung value ni cosine A. Si cosine A, eto siya. Eto yung angle ni A. Kaya naman, for cosine A, ang adjacent side niya is 4 at ang hypotenuse niya is 5. So, ngayon, cosine A is equal to 4 over 5. Next, ano yung cosine D? Cosine D. So, si cosine D, makikita nyo sa pangalawang triangle. At ang kanyang adjacent side is 6 at ang kanyang hypotenuse is 10. So, cosine D is equal to 6 over 10, which is lowest term 3/5. So, si number 1, mali. X tayo kay number 1. Punta naman tayo kay number 2. Cosine A is equals to sine B. Si cosine A, may value na tayo 4/5. Ang hahanapin na lang natin si sine B. So, si sine B, nasa una ulit siya na si angle B nasa unang triangle At ang kailangan natin to find the sine B is the opposite and the hypotenuse again. So, opposite side ni B is 4 and hypotenuse is 5. So, cosine B is equals to 4/5. And cosine A is also equal to 4/5. Kaya dito sa number 2, tama na siya. Okay. Next, hanapin na lang natin si sine E kasi meron na tayong cosine D. So, si sine E, si angle E, nasa pangalawang triangle. Ito siya. So, ano ba yung opposite side ni E? That is 6. And the hypotenuse is 10. So, kagaya ni cosine D, 6/10. In lowest term, 3/5. Kaya naman parehas po yung value ni cosine D and si sine E. So, basically, ang tama lang dito si 2 and si 3. And then, the answer is letter D. 2 and 3 only. Okay. Kung nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot, ang gagaling. Next, proceed na tayo sa number 10. Which of the following expressions is equal to sine A? 1 cosine B, 2 cosine D, 3 cosine E, and A, 1 only for the choices, B, 2 only, C, 1 and 2 only, and D, 1 and 3 only. So, hindi nagbago yung triangle. Same sa number 9. And, sagutan nyo na. Okay, to check your answers, tignan natin ano ba yung value ni cosine B. What is cosine B? So, cosine. So, kailangan natin dyan, adjacent and hypotenuse. Ito yung angle B natin. So, ang adjacent side niya is 3 and ang hypotenuse niya is 5. Kaya naman, cosine B is equal to 3/5. Cosine D is equal to nasan ba? Kanina na-compute na natin to si cosine D eh. Ito si angle D. So, ang kanyang adjacent side is 6. Ang hypotenuse is 10. Kaya naman, 6/10 or 3/5. Okay. Next, cosine E. Cosine E is nasa second triangle ulit si E. So, ang kanyang adjacent is 8 and hypotenuse is 10. So, cosine E is 8/10 which is 4/5. O, siya lang naiiba dun sa tatlo. So, sino ba yung equal kay sine A? So, ano ba yung value na sine A? Sine A is in the first triangle. So, ito siya. And ang kailangan natin for sine A is the opposite and the hypotenuse. So, opposite side niya is 3, hypotenuse niya is 5. So, ang ating sine A ay 3/5. Kaya naman, ang equal sa kanya ay si cosine B at saka si cosine D, which is 1 and 2 only. Letter C. Okay. So, that is the correct answer. 1 and 2 only. Now, let's proceed to number 11. Number 11, in an acute triangle ABC, sine A is equals to 3/7. Find cosine A. A, 4 square root of 2/7. B, 3 square root of 5/7. C, 2 square root of 10/7. And D, 5 square root of 2/7. Okay, pause nyo na kung gusto nyo sagutan. Now, let's check kung tama yung sagot ninyo. So, to do this, gawa tayo ngayon ng triangle. Okay? This is now triangle ABC. So, ako, ginagawa ko dyan, hindi niya sinabing right triangle. So, I'm going to create my own right triangle using this triangle, acute triangle ABC. So, pag sinabi naman natin acute, diba? All the angles, acute triangle, all the angles measures less than 90 degrees. So, acute angle siya. And to use the, or para magamit natin yung trigonometric ratios, gawa tayo right triangle by putting a line dito na magsisilbing perpendicular line para magkaroon ng 90 degree na angle. Pero kahit wag na. Okay lang din naman. Kasi kahit anong triangle, pwede nyo naman magamit yung magamit yung trigonometric ratios. For visual purposes, ito yung ginagawa ko. So, sin A, ito yung angle A natin. Ang value daw niya is 3/7. So, sin A is equals to 3/7. So, meaning, yung opposite side natin is 3. And ang hypotenuse natin is 7. So, ang opposite side nitong A, ang measurement nito is 3. Ang hypotenuse niya is 7. Ngayon, ang hinahanap natin, cosine A. Pag cosine A, diba that is the ratio of the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. So, ngayon, wala tayong adjacent side. Unknown, ito siya, dapat to. So, wala tayong value na adjacent side. Kaya naman, gamitan natin ang Pythagorean theorem para mahanap si adjacent side. Diba, pinakita ko naman na sa inyo ano formula na adjacent side. So, adjacent side is equals to the square root of hypotenuse squared minus opposite squared. So, ang hypotenuse natin is 7. So, 7 squared. Okay, yan 72 7 squared. Nagloloko yung aking pen tablet. So, 7 squared minus opposite side natin is 3. So, 9 squared. So, magiging square root of 7 squared is 49 minus, wait, sorry. This is not 9, 3. Okay, nagmamadali na. So, 3 squared is 9. So, 49 minus 9, that is the square root of 40. Okay. And kukunin natin yung principal root kasi acute naman yung angle, so positive siya. So, ang kukunin natin na value is yung positive for square root of 40. Ngayon, we can actually simplify pa yung ating square root of 40 by having the square root of 4 times 10, which is 2 square root of 10. Okay. So, eto na ngayon yung adjacent side natin, which is yung A. So, we have A na 2 square root of 10 over hypotenuse, which is 7. Kaya naman, the answer is letter C. Okay. Next, number 12. If P is an angle in a triangle and cosine P is equals to 5/13, find cosecant P. Okay, letter A, 11/10, B, 9/8, C, 6/5, and D, 13/12. Okay, you can answer now. Kindly pause this video. Sagutan na natin. So, to answer this, again, gawa tayo ng triangle. And, maglagay tayo ng line to show yung right triangle. Okay. Now, cosine P is equals to 5/13 daw. So, lagay natin dito, sa side na to, si angle P. So, ito yung angle P natin. And, cosine P is equals to 5/13. So, the adjacent side is 5 and the hypotenuse is 13. Kaya naman ang measurement nito ay ito ay 5, ito namang part na to ay 13, hypotenuse niya. Ngayon, ang pinapahanap sa atin cosecant P. So, we all know na ang ratio ng cosecant P is reciprocal ng sine. So, that is hypotenuse over opposite. So, kailangan po nating malaman ano yung measurement ng opposite side ni P. And gagamitan ulit po natin ang Pythagorean theorem. So, the formula for the opposite side is square root of hypotenuse squared minus adjacent squared. Okay. So, ngayon, Ang hypotenuse natin is 13. So, 13 squared minus adjacent side natin is 5. So, 5 squared. So, 13 squared is 169 minus 25 for 5 squared. Then, 169 minus 25, that is square root of 144. And what is the square root of 144? That is 12. So, ngayon, ang opposite side natin, ang measurement niya ay 12. Okay. So, for the cosecant P, that is, hypotenuse is 13, opposite side is 12. Kaya naman, the answer is letter D. Okay, very good. Sa nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Now, let's proceed with the next lesson, which is the angle of elevation and depression. Na-encounter ko rin to madalas sa mga entrance exam, bukod sa mga pinakita ko sa inyong mga questions kanina. Ito rin, kahit nung nag-e-exam ako, hindi nawawala yung gantong klaseng word problem. So, ano ba yung angle of elevation and angle of depression? Angle of elevation is the upward angle from a horizontal line. So, yung horizontal line na yun, usually yan yung line of sight ng observer to an object above. So, kung ang ating object ay nasa taas, yung angle of elevation natin is from the horizontal line to the object above. Tapos yung angle of depression naman is the downward angle from the horizontal to an object below. So, horizontal line of sight ng observer to the object below, yun yung angle of depression. Okay. Actually, in concept, um, parehas lang yung measurement ng angle of depression and angle of elevation based dun sa observer. Tingnan nyo to. In angle of elevation at depression problems, the angle of depression looking down from horizontal and the angle of elevation looking up to the same object are alternate interior angle. So, naalala nyo ba yung sa jom nyo, yung dalawang parallel lines. Okay, parallel lines bisected by a diagonal line, yung alternate interior angle niya equal. Ganun po yung angle of depression and angle of the elevation. They are alternate interior angles nung nung horizontal line of sight natin na parallel. Okay? Kaya equal yung measurement ng angle of depression and angle of elevation kapag may iisang object tayo na ino-observe. Okay? So, magagamit natin yung concept na yun sa pagsasagot ng mga word problems like this one. Number 13. A ladder of 50 meters long is leaning against a wall. The angle of elevation from the ground to the top of the ladder is 60 degrees. Assuming the ground is level, which of the following expressions show how to compute the height of the ladder reaches on the wall? A. 50 sine 60 degree, B. 50 cosine 60 degree, C. 50 tangent 60 degree, and D. 50 secant 60 degree. Okay, if you want to answer, kindly pause this video now. So, sagutan na natin. And let's have this figure based on our problem. So, sabi dito, yung ladder, ang haba niya 50 meters. Tapos, yung angle of elevation daw from the ground, from the ground to the top of the ladder. So, ito, angle of elevation natin. So, ito yung sinasabing from the ground to the top of the ladder. This is 60 degree. Okay. So, yung hinahanap natin is the height of the ladder. So, hinahanap itong part na to. Gaano kataas yan? Okay, hindi pantay yung line. Pagpasensyahan nyo na yan. So, ito yung angle natin. Angle of elevation. Meron tayong hypotenuse. Kung makikreate tayo ng triangle using this situation, Magkikreate tayo ng right triangle. This is our 60 degrees. And ang magagamit nating um, trigonometric ratio dyan is kung saan involves si hypotenuse tsaka since ito si 60 degrees, ito yung kanyang opposite side. So, hypotenuse and then opposite side. And ano bang trigonometric ratio yon? We have the sine. Okay? So, sine 60 degree is equal to, again, opposite over hypotenuse. Based dun sa question natin, meron tayong hypotenuse, which is 50 meters. So, sine 60 is equals to opposite over 50 meters. The problem is, wala tayong opposite side. Walang given na opposite side. And ang pinapahanap sa atin, yung expression na makakapag-compute nung opposite side ng ating angle of elevation, which is also the height of the ladder, reaches on the wall. So, to do that, mag-manipulate tayo algebraically or mathematical manipulation. Naalala pa ba yung cross multiplication or yung butterfly method? So, gawin natin. Mag-cross multiply tayo. Sige, para mas klaro. Si sin 60, maglagay tayo ng denominator na 1. So, lahat naman ng whole number, ang denominator ay 1. When we cross multiply this, ayan, magiging O yan hindi yan 0 O stands for opposite side. So, O is equal to 50 sine 60. Kasi nga, nag-cross multiplication tayo. O times 1 is just O. Sine 60 times 50, 50 sine 60. So, ito na yung ating expression na makakapag-compute nung opposite side or yung height ng ladder at that reaches on the wall. So, the answer will be letter A, 50 sine 60. Okay, so another problem regarding dito sa ating angle of elevation or depression. Number 14. A lifeguard tower is D meters high. A lifeguard looks down at a beach ball that is 10 meters from the base of the tower. If the angle of depression is 32 degrees, which expression shows how to compute the tower's height? A. 10 sine 32 degree, B. 10 cosine 32 degree, C. Tangent 32 degree, and D. 10 cotangent 32 degree. So if you want to answer the problem, kindly pause it now. And we're going to answer the problem now. So, to visualize the problem, nanghingi na ako ng tulong kay AI. So, eto na siya. Yung height daw po nung lifeguard tower is D. So, wala tayong actual na value. Then, the angle of depression from the lifeguard, yung sa horizontal line of sight ng lifeguard, to the beach ball is 32 degrees. And the distance from the beach ball to the tower is 10 meters. So, if we're going to create, ayan, if we're going to create a right triangle using the tower height and the distance from the beach ball to the tower and then the line of sight or yung line of sight ng lifeguard to the beach ball, yung angle of depression natin na 32 degree, ito din po yung magiging measurement nung angle from the beach ball to the lifeguard and the beach ball to the tower. So, this is 32 degree. Then, we have 10 meters as the length of the adjacent side and the tower height will be the length for the opposite side. So, ano kayang trigonometric ratio yung magagamit natin sa problem na to? Of course, we're going to use tangent na trigonometric ratio. So, tangent 32 degree is equal to opposite. Ano ba measurement ng opposite side? Wala. D. So, lagay natin D. Small letter D. over yung ating adjacent side, which is may measurement tayo, 10 meters. And then, magke-create tayo ng mathematical expression na magsosolve nung ating tower height, D. So, cross multiplication again, we're going to come up with D is equals to 10 tangent 32 degree. And the answer will be letter C. Okay. Oh, no, letter C ha. So, mali yung ano natin, yung bilog dito sa number 14. It should be letter C, 10 tangent 32 degrees. Next, proceed na tayo sa number 15. So, number 15. Find the cosine of the smallest acute angle of the triangle whose sides have lengths 4, 5, and 6. Letter A, 4 over 5. Letter B, 3 over 4. Letter C, 2 over 3. And letter D, 5 over 6. If you can answer it on your own, kindly pause this video now. So, sagutan na natin number 15. In this type of problem, the only way that I can find is to use the law of cosine. Kaya part din siya ng topics natin for today. So, ano ba yung law of cosines? The law of cosine can be used in any kind of triangle, hindi lang sa right triangle actually. So, the law of cosine is a trigonometric law that relates the lengths of the side of a triangle to the cosine of one of its angle. So, hindi lang siya right triangle, lahat ng klase ng triangle. So, for a triangle with sides A, B, and C, angle C, opposite side C, the law is given by C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. So actually, this formula is kinda similar to the Pythagorean theorem, but meron lang tayong correction factor, which is yung 2AB cosine C minus 2AB cosine C. And any kind of the sides of the triangle, pwede natin siyang gamitan. Yun nga lang, mababago yung ating formula depending on what side yung gagamitin natin. Okay. So we also have this formula: a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2b c cosine a. B squared is equals to c squared plus a squared minus 2ca cosine b. So, para din nyo makalimutan yung formula or matandaan ninyo, balik tayo sa Pythagorean theorem. We have c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared. Then the correction factor, 2ab cosine c ang gagamitin natin. So, kung ano yung c or side na hinahanap, yun yung cosine na susundin natin. So, kung side C yung hinahanap, yung opposite na angle niya, yung hahanapan natin ng cosine. Okay? Sa law of cosines. Now, sige. Number 15 pa rin naman to, nagbago lang yung number. And apply natin yung law of cosine dito. So, sabi dito sa problem, yung triangle daw natin may lengths na 4, 5, and 6. So, hahanapin daw natin yung smallest acute angle, cosine ng smallest acute angle ng triangle. So, I have here triangle ABC. Tapos, by the property of triangles, kung sino yung pinakamalaking angle, ang opposite side niya, yun yung pinakamahaba. Okay? So, based dito, ang pinakamalaki nating angle is angle C. So, this is 6 sa lengths natin. Siya yung pinakamahaba. Tapos, si B, sumunod. So, siya yung 5. And si A, siya yung 4. So, ang hinahanap dito, guys, cosine ng smallest acute angle. So, basically, cosine A ang hinahanap natin. And, identify natin ano ba yung mga sides na to. Sino ba si 4, side ano ba si 4, si 5, tsaka si 6. So, since ang opposite side ng angle A natin ay si 4, siya yung side A natin. Okay? Tapos, ang opposite side ni B is, angle B is 5. So, siya yung side B natin. Yan. Tapos, ang opposite side ni C ay si side 6. Opposite side ni C, yun yung sides C. So, ang measurement niya ay 6. Ngayon, hahanapin daw po natin yung cosine A. So, using the law of cosine, dahil side A tayo, A squared is equals to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A, yung gagamitin natin na law of cosine. So, meron tayong value ng A, di ba? A is 4, B is 5, C is 6. So, yan yung mga kailangan natin to find the i-substitute dun sa ating law of cosine para mahanap natin yung value ni cosine A. Wala tayong angle A eh. So, substitute na natin, magiging 4 squared is 16. Sige, huwag tayo mag-shortcut. Lagay natin. 4 squared is equals to B is 5, so 5 squared plus C is 6, so 6 squared. Minus 2BC, which is 2 times 5. Okay, pagpasensyahan nyo na ulit ang aking sulat. Kaliwete po ang ma'am. Okay. Tapos, C is 6. So, 2 times 5 times 6. Then, cosine A. Okay? So, 4 squared is 16 is equals to 5 squared 25 plus 6 squared 36 minus 2 times 5 times 6 is 60. Diba? 10 times 6, 60. Cosine A. Then, combine like terms and isolate natin si cosine A para mahanap natin yung value niya. So, lipat natin sa kabilang side si 60 cosine A, and since negative siya o minus, magiging positive siya. 60 cosine A is equals to si 16, para makombine natin sa kaparehas niyang term, lipat natin sa kabilang side. So, magiging 25 plus 36 minus 16. So, 60, okay, 60, 60 cosine A is equals to 25 plus 36 minus 16, that is 45. And divide both sides natin by 60 to get the value of cosine A, 60 yan. So, cancel. Cosine A is equals to 45 over 60. And the lowest term of 45 over 60, divisible sila by 15. So, 3 over 4. Okay, 3/4. So, the answer for number 16 is number 15 is letter B, 3/4. Okay. So, sundin na lang natin yung, arrangement ng numbers dito. Medyo nagkamali lang kanina. Okay, next, number 17. So, again, another law of cosine ito. So, spoiler na agad. So, number 17, find the cosine of the largest angle of a triangle whose sides have length 7, 8, and 9. So, letter A, 1 over 3, B, 2 over 7, C, 11 over 14, and D, 1 half. Okay, pakipause na po yung video kung magsasagot, and then sagutan na natin. So, again, hinahanap yung cosine ng largest angle. And may triangle ulit tayo na ABC dito to utilize the law of cosine. Lagyan na natin ng measurement. So, the largest side will be 9. And opposite niya yung largest angle. And then, next will be opposite of B, which is angle B, which is 8. And yung pinakamaliit, opposite ng angle A, which is 7. So, this is side C. this is side B, and this is side A. Okay. So, largest angle yung hinahanap natin na cosine. So, ang hinahanap is cosine C. Okay? So, ang gagamitin natin na law of cosine is C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. Largest angle. So, ngayon, ang value ng C natin is 9. Ang value ng A natin is 7. Ang value ng B natin is 8. So, substitute na natin sa ating formula. We have 9 squared is equals to 7 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 7 times 8 cosine C. So, 9 squared is 81 is equal to 7 squared is 49 plus 8 squared is 64 minus 2 times 7, 14 times 8. So, ito na lang. 7 times 8, 56 times 2, 112. Okay. So, 112 cosine C. So, combine like terms kagaya kanina. So, lipat natin. 112 cosine C na siya. Hindi na siya minus or negative. Is equal to 49 plus 64 minus 81. So, combine like terms na natin, 112 cosine C is equal to 49 plus 64, that is 3, carry 1, 113. So, 113 minus 81. 113 minus 81 is 19 plus 13, 20, 30, 32? Okay. So, tama ba? 19 plus 13, 32. Nakakabobo. 32. Okay. So, divide both sides by 112. 112. Okay. So, 112 divided by 32 divided by 112. So, they are both divisible by 16. Try natin 16. 16 times 7. Okay. 7 times 6. 42 carry 4. 7. Oh, yun. 112 nga. So, divisible sila parehas by 16. So, 32 divided by 16 is 2 over 7. Okay. So, the answer is 2 over 7. Cosine C is equals to 2 over 7. Ayan. Okay. Number 18 na tayo. So, number 18. In a triangle ABC, BC is equals to 6, CA is equals to 7, and AB is equals to 8. Find sine C over sine A. So, for this problem, ano kaya yung gagamitin ninyo? Letter A, 7 over 3. Letter B, 3 over 7. Letter C, 4 over 3. And letter D, 1/4 for the choices. Okay. So, ayan. Kung gusto nyo nang malaman ng sagot, eto na po. In this problem, we can use naman yung counterpart, another law. Bukod sa cosine law, we have the law of sine. Okay, or sine rule. So, sa law of sine, dahil puro sine yung hinahanap natin, sine C over sine A, yung ratio ng A and sine A, or A over sine A, is equal to B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. Provided that we have side A, B, and C, tapos angle A, B, and C sa ating triangle. Okay. So, kailangan tama yung label natin dun sa ating triangle. So, kahit anong triangle ulit itong si law of sine, kagaya ni cosine, kahit anong klase ng triangle. So, para magamit natin itong law of sine, mag-assign tayo ng measurement based dun sa ating triangle. So, we have triangle ABC, and then, sabi dito, yung side BC, which is ito, side BC, ang measurement daw ay 6, which is si side BC, that is also our side A. Ang measurement daw niyan ay 6. Next, side CA, this is side CA, which is also the side B. Ang measurement naman niya ay 7. And si side AB, which is the side C, opposite siya ng angle C, that is 8. So, ngayon, pinapahanap sa atin si sin C over sin A. So, ang involved lang na kailangan natin dito sa sine law is yung A over sin A and C over sin C. So, A over sin A is equal to C over sin C. And we have the value of A, which is 6, and the value of C, which is 8. So, we can substitute it to the law of sine. Magiging 6 over sine A is equals to 8 over sine C. Ang goal natin, guys, mahanap yung value ni sine C over sine A, di ba? So, gagawa tayo ng paraan na mapalabas yung sine C over sine A dito sa ating nakuhang equation. So, butterfly method or cross multiplication natin siya magiging 6. Ayan, multiply natin yung 6 sa sin C, 6 sin C na siya. And then, i-multiply naman natin sin A kay 8 sin A na siya. So, malapit na tayo sa goal. Sin C over sin A. So, i-divide natin both sides yung ating equation by 6 sin A. Yan, 6 sin A. Para makuha natin yung goal natin na sin C over sin A dito. Kasi ang mangyayari dyan, madidivide natin, makakancel, matitira sin C over sin A. And pag dinivide naman natin itong kabilang side, 8 sin A over 6 sin A, divide natin, 8 over 6, that is 8 over 6 in lowest term, 4 over 3. So, the answer will be letter C. Okay. So, kung di nyo naman kabisado yung law of sine at naka-encounter kayo ng ganitong problem, may ibang way din naman ako ng pagko-compute niya. Which is, magka-create ako ng actual na triangle. Okay. Tapos, labelan natin to as triangle A, B, and C, di ba? Then, mag-drop ulit ako ng perpendicular line na magsisilbing, makakapag-create tayo ng dalawang right triangle using this regular triangle. Okay? So, again, kunin natin mga given. BC is equals to 6. So, ang measurement ng side na to is 6. CA is equals to 7. So, CA, yung buong yan, 7 yan. And AB is equals to 8. So, side AB is equals to 8. Ngayon, may dalawa akong right triangle. Ang hahanapin ko, sin C muna. Sige. Sin C is equal to, ito yung angle C natin. Tapos, pag sin, di ba, opposite over hypotenuse. Dito sa right triangle na to muna tayo mag-focus. Okay? So, si angle C, ang opposite side niya, ito. Walang measurement. So, ang lagay natin dyan ay x. Okay? Or kahit anong variable gusto nyo. Gusto ko x eh. So, ang opposite side niya is x over, ang hypotenuse niya is 6. So, x over 6 sin C. Si sin A naman, so, focus tayo sa kabilang right triangle. Another way lang to ng pagsasagot kung di nyo kabisado yung law of sine or law of sine. Ibang technique naman. So, sin A na right triangle ang focus natin. Ito yung angle A. Tapos, ang opposite side niya is x pa din, over, ang hypotenuse niya ito, 8. So, meron na tayong dalawang sin C and sin A. I-relate natin ngayon yung dalawa na yan by finding the value of x. So, to find the value of x, mag-cross multiply ulit tayo. So, x is equals to 6 sin C. And dito naman, x is equals to 8 sin A. So, si x, may value siya na 6 sin C and also 8 sin A. So, magkaparehas na value ng x. Kaya naman, si 6 sin C, the same as 8 sin A. So, equal sila, parehas silang x eh. Then, we're just going to compute for the sin C over sin A. Gagawa tayo na para mapalabas yung value ng sin C over sin A. And that is divide both sides by 6 sin A. 6 sin A. We're going to have, cancel, sin C over sin A is equals to 8 over 6 or 4 over 3. The same pa rin naman ang sagot, magkaiba lang ng way ng pagsasagot. Okay. Next, proceed na tayo. So, malapit na tayo matapos, don't worry. So, proceed na tayo sa terminal angles and reference angles. Coterminal angles and reference angles. Pero sisimulan muna natin siya sa angle na ilalapat natin sa Cartesian plane or yung XY plane natin. Alam nyo pa naman yung Cartesian plane, di ba? We have the XY plane or Cartesian plane kung saan meron siyang X and Y axis. So, an angle is in standard position if it is drawn in the XY plane with its vertex at the origin and its initial side on the positive x-axis. The angles alpha, beta, and theta in the following figures are angles in the standard position. Okay, so himayin natin. Pag sinabi daw po na yung angle natin ay naka-standard position, meaning yung initial side niya or yung one of the sides ng angle natin ay nasa positive x-axis. Okay, which is itong side na to. Okay. Yung positive x-axis na yan. Nandyan daw yung initial side ng angle. Alam nyo naman na ang angle binubuo ng dalawang lines, di ba? So, one of those lines, ang tawag natin doon, initial side. Okay, pag nilapat na natin sa Cartesian coordinate plane, ha? So, pag nasa x-positive axis siya, and then, yung terminal niya, kahit sa ang part naman ng plane, provided that yung position ng angle natin ang initial side niya nasa positive x-axis. Kaya naman sabi dito, tong angle alpha na to, angle beta, and si angle theta, pare-pareha sila na naka-standard position. Kasi lahat sila, ang initial side ay yung nasa positive x-axis. Yung tinatawag pala na terminal side is the other side of the angle. Terminal side ang tawag doon. Okay. So, lahat sila again standard position. Next. An angle is formed by rotating a ray about its endpoint. Okay, ayan. Ngayon, yung angle measure natin, may dalawang kind. We have the positive angle and then the negative angle. Ngayon, paano natin malalaman kung positive yung angle or negative yung angle? Based in these figures, pag positive yung angle natin, yung rotational terminal side natin ay counterclockwise direction. Okay, positive yung angle natin kung yung terminal side niya, ang galaw ay pa-counterclockwise. Okay, makikita niyo yung galaw sa arrow na reference nito. Okay, so ang arrow natin pa-counterclockwise, so positive ang angle natin. Pero kapag ang terminal side natin, ang rotation niya ay pa-clockwise, pababa, kumbaga, ng initial side, negative yung ating angle. So, it's possible na magkaroon tayo ng negative angle. Yes. Basta, provided that yung rotation ng terminal side natin ay clockwise. Okay? So, pansinin, yung given angle natin kanina, ano dyan yung positive angle at ano dyan yung negative angle. Okay. Kung ang iniisip nyo na yung positive angle ay yung alpha tsaka theta at ang negative angle ay yung beta, tama kayo. Okay. So, kapag po clockwise ang ating counterclockwise, counterclockwise, ang ating rotation, positive siya. So, magsa-start siya sa 0 degree. Then, kapag nakabuo siya ng 90 degree, napunta na sa y-axis, sa positive y-axis, 90 degree na yon. And then, pag napunta naman, nakaikot na papunta sa negative x-axis, 180 degree. Then, sa negative y-axis, 270 degree. And pabalik dun sa initial side, 360 degrees. Yan ang measurement ng angles natin. Pag positive. Pag negative naman, pababa. So, kagaya nito ni angle beta. So, ang start pa rin natin ay 0 degree. Pero pag nakapunta na tayo sa negative y-axis, that is now the negative 90 degree. Sa negative x-axis naman, negative 180 degree. Sa positive y-axis, negative 270 degree yung terminal side natin, pabalik sa negative 360 degrees. Okay. So, actually, pwede pa yung mag-extend na lumagpas sa 360 degrees, positive man or negative, pag nag-continue yung rotation. Kaya nga, walang katapos, infinite. Possible na maging infinite yung ating degree dito or angle dito. Basta't iikot siya either positive or negative. Now, let's talk about the coterminal angles. Okay. Pag sinabi natin coterminal angles, they are two angles in standard position that have a common terminal side. Ang tawag sa dalawang angle na yon, coterminal. Okay? Again, pag yung two angles na yon, naka-standard position silang dalawa, and meron silang common terminal side, so parehas yung terminal side nila, ang tawag sa dalawang angle na yon ay coterminal angles. Observe that the degree measure of coterminal angles differ by multiples of 360 degrees. Okay, sige. Pakikita nyo yan dito sa example. So, I have here a 50 degree angle. So, ang rotation niya ay counterclockwise, kaya positive siya. Ngayon, hanapin natin, ano ba yung possible niya or yung mga coterminal angles niya. Okay. Pag tinuloy natin yung rotation counterclockwise from 50 degree pabalik dyan sa 50 degree na yan, so dadagdagan natin yung 50 degree ng 360 degree, magiging 410 degrees na siya. Okay? And yung 50 degree and 410 degree, they have the same coterminal angle but different measurement. Sorry, they have the same terminal side but different measurement. They are called coterminal angles. Okay? So, yung mga coterminal angles, guys, they differ by multiples of 360. Okay? So, si 50 and 410 degrees, pag minus ninyo yan, that is 360. So, actually, there are infinitely many coterminal angles kasi pwede pang umikot yung 410 degrees na yan. So, 410 plus 360, coterminal din nila yung 770. Okay, 770. Tapos, pag dinagdagan pa natin 360 ng 360 ng 360, yun yung mga coterminal angles ni 50 degree at saka ni 410 degrees. Okay. So, napakadami. Pwede kayong mag-add pa ng mag-add ng 360 degrees para malaman lahat ng coterminal angles ni 50 tsaka ni 410 degrees. Okay. So, let's have this example nga. Find the angle of the least positive measure that is coterminal with the angle 750 degrees. A. 390 degrees, B. 60 degrees, C, 150 degrees, and letter D, 30 degrees. Sige, pakisagutan. And kung may sagot na kayo, sagutan na natin. Now, for this problem, ang pinahanap is yung least positive measure. Okay, least positive coterminal angle ni 750. So, pinakamababa pero dapat positive. Kaya ang gagawin natin, magbabawas tayo ng magbabawas ng 360 kay 750 para malaman natin yung pinakamababang positive measurement ng coterminal angle niya. So, 750 minus 360, that is 390. O, ayan. 390, di ba? Pero, si 390 kasi, hindi pa siya yung pinakamababa. Kasi masusubtract pa natin yung 360 sa kanya. At positive pa rin ang magiging sagot. So, 390 minus 360, that is 30 degrees. Yan na ba yung pinaka-least positive? Yes. Pag nag-minus pa kasi tayo ng 360 degrees sa 30 degrees, magiging negative na yan. So, ang pinakamababang positive na coterminal angle ni 750 ay 30 degrees. Letter D. Okay. Last. Ito na ata tayo. Okay. Number 21. Ayan. So, which of the following points is also coterminal with point 870 degree? Okay. A, 0.pi over 6. Letter B, 0.5 pi over 6. Letter C, 0.2 pi over 3. And letter D, negative pi over 3. So, sagutan nyo na kung alam kong kaya nyo nang sagutan yan. And then, checka na po natin. So, medyo tricky lang dito sa given natin. Yung given niya is naka-degree. Pero yung choices natin naka-radian. Okay. So, pinakamadaling gawin, hanapin muna natin yung coterminal ni 870. As you can see, mabababa naman yung radians natin. Less than 2 pi. So, kailangan na makuha natin is yung less than 360 na coterminal. So, ang gawin natin, 870, magma-minus tayo dyan na magma-minus ng 360 hanggang maging less than 360 na siya. So, 870 minus 360, that is 510. So, mag-minus pa tayo, mataas pa, 510 minus 360, that is 150. Okay. Ayan, 150. So, yung 150, okay na. Mababa na siya sa 360. I-change na lang natin siya into radian. So, i-multiply natin yung 150 degree sa pi over 180. Okay, pi over 180. So, pwede na natin tong makancel, So, pareha silang divisible by, lagyan ko na lang ng 1 para, klaro. So, pareha silang divisible by 30. Ito 5, ito 6. So, 5 pi over 6. So, ang coterminal sa point 870 degrees is 0.5 pi over 6. And that is letter B. Okay, ayan. So, last part ng ating discussion is the reference angle. So, a reference angle is the acute angle formed between the terminal side of a given angle in the standard position and the x-axis. So, tatandaan, si reference angle lagi siyang acute. Okay, so less than 90 degrees. Lagi din po siyang positive kasi nga nasa first quadrant siya. Okay. Ngayon, ano ang relevance ng reference angle? Bakit natin siya hinahanap? Actually, si reference angle, makakatulong siya sa atin sa paghahanap ng values, pag-evaluate ng trigonometric functions. Okay? Si reference angle yung tutulong sa atin makompute yung value ng trigonometric equations or functions. So, ngayon, alamin natin paano ba kinukuha yung reference angle. So, nakabase yung pagkuha ng reference angle sa kung saang quadrant yung ating, kung nasaang quadrant yung ating angle. Okay? So, kung angle natin ay nasa quadrant 1, okay, automatic siya na yung reference angle. Yes, okay. So, actually, yung mga common na reference angle, pi over 6, pi over 4, and pi over 3, which is 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Si pi over 6, 30 degrees yon, pi over 4, 45 degrees yon, and si pi over 3, 60 degrees. Sila yung mga pinaka-common na reference angle. Ngayon, kapag ang atin naman na angle, given angle ay nasa second quadrant, ang magiging process natin ay, okay, nandito siya actually. Oh, ayan. Hindi ko po pala pinapakita. So, pag nasa second quadrant, yung ating angle, para makuha natin yung reference angle, denoted by R dito, kailangan tayong mag-minus ng pi and the angle itself. O kaya naman, kapag naka-degree, 180 degrees minus the angle itself para makuha natin yung reference angle niya. Pag nasa quadrant 3 naman, yung ating angle, baliktad. Magiging angle minus pi, or pag naka-degree, angle minus 180 degree. And pag nasa quadrant 4 naman tayo, to get the reference angle, we will subtract 2 pi minus the angle itself, or pag naka-degree, 360 degree minus the angle. Okay. Pero hindi lang 4 cases ang meron. May case 5 and case 6 din, or instances din na yung angle natin negative. Pag negative yung angle natin, guys, mag-a-add tayo ng 2 pi or 360 hanggang sa maging positive siya. Okay? O mag-a-add tayo ng mag-a-add hanggang maging positive. Tapos, pag naging positive na siya, pagkatas natin mag-add ng 2 pi tsaka 360, naging positive na siya, didetermine natin kung anong quadrant yung positive na value na yon. Kung quadrant 1 ba, 2, 3, or 4. Pag determine na natin kung anong quadrant yung angle na yon, susundin natin yung process dun sa quadrant na yon. For example, mapunta siya sa quadrant 2. Eh di susundin natin na pi minus the given angle, or 180 degree minus the given angle. Okay. Next, paano naman pag ang angle natin greater than 2 pi, mas mataas sa 2 pi? Baliktad naman, magsusubtract tayo ng 2 pi or 360 hanggang sa maging na siya, in between 0 and 360, or 0 and 2 pi yung angle natin. Tapos, i-determine natin kung saang quadrant siya. And, pag nakuha na natin kung saang quadrant siya, susundin natin yung process kung nasang quadrant man yon. Okay? So, may extra step kapag sobrang laki or sobrang baba ng ating angle, given angle. Okay. So, for example, find the reference angle of 13 pi over 4. Letter A, pi over 6. Letter B, pi over 3. Letter C, pi over 4. And letter D, pi over 2. So, ano kayang case siya? Magpapasok. Okay, pakisagutan na. And kung may sagot na kayo, checka na natin. So, dito, ang given natin, 13 pi over 4. And actually, that is more than 2 pi. Okay? 13 pi over 4 is in mixed form, that is 3 and 1/4. So, sobra-sobra. 3 and 1/4 pi. So, sobra sa 2 pi. Kaya, nasa case number 6 siya. Magma-minus tayo ng magma-minus ng 2 pi hanggang sa maging nasa gitna na siya ng 0 and 2 pi. So, 13 pi over 4 minus 2 pi. So, to easily subtract this kind of expression, kailangan maging similar fraction sila. So, magmumultiply tayo sa 2 pi ng 4 over 4. Kaya, magiging 13 pi over 4 minus 2 pi times 4 over 4, para lang maging similar fraction sila, magiging 8 pi over 4. Pag sinimplify naman natin 8 pi over 4 na yan, it will come back to 2 pi. So, parehas tong dalawa na to. Okay? So, 13 pi over 4 minus 8 pi over 4. So, subtract na lang natin yung numerator, then copy the denominator. So, 4, 13 pi minus 8 pi, ilang pi na lang yung meron. So, that is 5 pi over 4. Ngayon, less than 2 pi na to. 5 pi over 4 is 1 and 1/4. Okay? So, hahanapin na natin ngayon kung saan siyang quadrant. Sa quadrant 1 ba, quadrant 2, 3, or 4? Paano natin malalaman? Si quadrant 1 kasi, this is from 0 to, ito, 90 degrees. Yung 90 degrees, that is pi over 2 in radian. Ito naman, 180 degrees. This is pi. And this is 3 pi over 2, di ba? 270 degrees. Tapos pagbalik sa positive x-axis, that is 360 degrees or 2 pi. Ngayon, saan located si 5 pi over 4? Dahil 1 and 1/4 yan, nasa gitna siya ng 1 and, ng pi and 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 is 1 and 1/2. Okay, mas mataas si 5 pi over 4 sa pi and mas mababa siya sa 3 pi over 2. So, nasa quadrant 3. Okay? So, susundin natin yung process ng quadrant 3. So, R, reference angle, is equal to theta minus pi. So, mangyayari dyan, 5 pi over 4 minus pi. So, hindi na naman sila similar. So, multiply tayo ng 4 over 4 kay pi para maging similar fraction sila. So, magiging 5 pi over 4 minus 4 pi over 4. And that is 5 pi over 4 minus 4 pi over 4. That is pi over 4. So, the answer will be letter C. Okay, eto, ang technique na ano ko, or shortcut, tinitignan ko na lang sometimes yung denominator. Pero hindi all of the time ha. I'm not sure kung all of the time. Tama ba yun? Pero kapag 4, ang denominator, ang reference angle niya is pi over 4. Pag ang given na angle, ang denominator is 6, ang reference angle niya pi over 6. And pag 3, denominator pi over 3. Pero shortcut ko lang naman yung way ng pag-check. Di naman sa lahat ng instances. Kasi tagilid siya sa pagto eh. Okay. So, last number. Last number na tayo. Okay, matatapos na. Find the reference angle of negative 960 degrees. A, 30 degrees. Letter B, 45 degrees. Letter C, 60 degrees. And letter D, 90 degrees. Okay, pakisagutan na po. And then pause the video if you are done. Okay, sige, sagutan na natin. So, this problem, negative 960. So, nasa 5th siya na case. Kasi sobrang baba niya. So, ang gagamitin nating process, magdadagdag tayo ng 360 hanggang siya ay maging positive. So, negative 960 plus 360 is equal to negative 600. So, negative pa rin. Mag-add pa rin tayo. So, negative 600 plus 360 is equal to, ilan to? Negative pa din yan. Negative 240. Tama? Okay, negative 240. So, negative 240 plus, okay, 360. That is 120. Positive na. Okay, ayun, nag-positive na. So, tingnan natin saan siyang quadrant. So, again, quadrant 1, 0, white? 0 to 90, so hindi siya dito. 90 to 180, so nandito siya. Mas sa gitna ng 90 to 180 degree. Nasa quadrant 2. So, susundin natin yung quadrant 2. For the reference angle, 180 degree minus 120 degree na given angle natin. So, magiging R is equal to 60 degrees. So our reference angle is letter C. Okay. So that's it for the first part of our trigonometry review. Nabubulol na ako, pagod na, hindi, char. Okay, hindi, kaya pa natin yan. So, see you sa second part and yung last. Although lahat naman, magagamit natin pag napag-aralan natin sa part 1, magagamit natin sa part 2. Lalong-lalo na yung mga last na topics like reference angle and coterminal angle. So, goodbye and thank you for listening for this part of our review.